Hi, everyone. Welcome to the TeleWellness Hub Podcast. You're in great hands today with Sandhya Nagabhushan, licensed therapist, addiction counselor, and EMDR trained practitioner who helps people turn survival into real change. From trauma to recovery, her work is rooted in strengths, clarity, and what actually helps in everyday life. She's not just a guest host of the TeleWellness Hub podcast. She's actually part of the TeleWellness Hub community, and she's a clinician there. So you can find her there as well. And she's redefining what mental health and wellness can look like.
Welcome to the TeleWellness Hub podcast. My name is Sandhya Nagabhushan, and I'm your host of the TeleWellness Hub podcast. Today, it is my honor and privilege to have a dear friend of mine who is the owner and CEO of the TeleWellness Hub platform. Welcome, Marta. Thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you so much. It's so fun to sit on the other side, and I think you're doing a fabulous job. And I can't wait to be not just like a guest, but a listener to get to listen to you, talk with all our colleagues. It's going to be great. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks, Marta. So I really want to get started with this relaunch. Tell me a little bit more about why you chose to take a pause while this platform was taking off so well. Mm-hmm. What brought it in you to take a pause on this platform? And can you speak a little bit about that?
Yes. Okay. So there's like a whole long story on that. But really, when I set out to start TeleWellness Hub, we were started right after COVID. It was 2021 when I really started talking to developers and seeing how can we make this happen? How can we have a directory that goes beyond zip codes, beyond the billable hours, that really showcases all the work that therapists are doing outside of therapy, speaking engagements and workshops and published works and all the things. And you know what? We had good proof of concept. I was able to dive into the world of ventures, starting a venture. I joined groups. I got really immersed in that, but I also had my own clients. I also have my own kids. I also was like navigating a lot of things. And so for so long, all of my spare time was spent thinking about and working on TeleWellness Hub. I mean, I would wake up in the night thinking about something that I needed to do. And I realized that a lot of what I was doing was based on what I learned, which I'm so grateful for all the things that I've learned from others. But a lot of what I was applying maybe was based on the way that technology was being run. And I wanted to do something different because what I saw as time progressed and we had a really successful beta and successful pitch competitions. And I realized that more and more of these big tech companies were coming in within the mental health field. And I felt like providers were being lost in it, like the human centeredness of it was being lost. And absolutely. Yeah, and I really felt like my colleagues, like, you know, I listened to the feedback. I took time to like listen to the feedback and stop trying to like build, catch up. Because first of all, TeleWellness Hub often felt like David versus Goliath, and Goliath are all these big tech companies, these big insurance platforms, you know. So I thought I don't want to compete. I want to be of service to our providers and the people we serve. So I decided to pause. I decided to connect with others. I decided to hear what people wanted to do. Like even, you know, you joined as a provider, and I always remember you reaching out and saying, here are my thoughts, here are my ideas for TeleWellness Hub. And I was just blown away and so honored by the feedback that I was getting from other colleagues, other providers. And so I thought, yes, you have to act quickly when it comes to technology because things are always evolving. But I need to pause and not try to fit this timeline that happens in big companies of like KPIs and launch dates. And I need to really do things right by the providers and the people we serve. So it was about choosing to pause, to work intentionally, to bring back the ethics and human-centeredness that is at the core of our work, really, in our field, and apply it to this platform. So I changed the messaging, the branding, the user journey, like for clients and for providers. So got to work, found the right people and team also. That was a big part of it, who really saw the heart and the mission. And I couldn't be happier, truly. It's been, I feel like this is exactly where we were meant to be at this time.
Talking about radical acceptance and accepting the universe as it is. May I ask personally for you though, Marta? Let's dig a little deeper.
Okay.
This is a big shift for you. It's a big change. It's a big pause that you had to do.
Yeah.
May I ask what happened interpersonally with you, even spiritually, emotionally? Take a step back and take that pause. What had come up for you?
Oh my gosh, so much. And I had to learn to apply so much of what I had to have meetings with my, with the web development team or with my COO. And I would say, I feel like I need to practice what I would share in a therapy room with a client, with, approaching things with curiosity rather than like forcing things a certain way, and letting go of a lot of feelings of, I had to navigate guilt. It's this, and I think this happens more with women. Like, I don't want to generalize, but I think, as a mom, as a wife, as with my pets, like all the things, and sister, daughter, all the things, I had to really navigate feeling like I wasn't giving enough to the platform, or I wasn't giving enough to the home life, or wasn't giving enough to the clients, like all my continuing education and certifications. And so I think interpersonally, I really had to also consider, like, what if I approach this with curiosity, with what can I control? What can I, what brings me fulfillment? I had to recenter also on the mission. Like, why did I even set out to do this? And a lot of that, it is personally, I wanted to see our field elevated. I think, there's a lot of, we're a women dominated field. And I just think that sometimes we can get left behind, and it was starting to get reflected in things like, this could go on to like a different kind of like social justice perspective, but but I think, insurance rates haven't been raised for therapists the same way that they have for other industries. And also our profession was considered like non-professional so all these people with student loans.
Yes.
Like there's this, so we had all these financial struggles as therapists, and burnout, and navigating a lot of things. And I had to recenter to the heart of it, the mission of it. And it is tied spiritually for me, of like greater purpose. And I thought, I'm going to keep going until doors close, and I'm not going to keep forcing it. And as I kept doing that with intentionality, with thinking about who this platform is for, and all the people that our providers are trying to serve, like, I kept thinking, I'm going to keep going until the doors close. And as I did that, the doors kept opening. Certain doors really like shut down, like literally, like it was like, oh, okay, like I have to restructure the tech stack here, for example, or I don't know, there's just a lot of examples where doors close, but at the same time, doors open. I tried to pay attention. So it was a lot of like reflection, meditation, prayer, if you will, a lot of walks, like solo walks with my dogs, of just trying to figure out, like, is this in alignment with what I meant to do, and how I'm supposed to spend my time and my finances, and my resources. And it was it's been a humbling experience. I've learned a lot. There's been a lot of transformation in knowledge, in just how I see the world. I mean, it's been really eye-opening, but on a personal level, there was definitely a lot to have to navigate. And I learned through this that actually there are therapists who specialize in working with startups, startup owners and startup entrepreneurs and just entrepreneurs in general and female entrepreneurs. And I mean, because it's so nuanced, there are so many daily decisions that you're trying to make. And what I loved about this, though, is that I thought about this platform is for also those entrepreneurs within mental health, all these private practice. Yes, it really kind of translates, because I remember when I first opened my private practice, I didn't necessarily know what I was doing. And I just, you have to do all these steps in hopes that people will show up, and like see you and find you, and that you navigate all the documentation, legalities, all those things. So it was a similar process of like leap of faith and learning, and meanwhile navigating kind of those personal decision makings. But here I am, the path, even though sometimes I felt like it would be easier to close the door and like quit while I was ahead, it just, doors kept opening in unexpected places sometimes, with like sponsorships and collaborations and people reaching out. And so I thought, all right, I'm going to keep going.
You're falling.
Yeah, I'm going to keep going. And even now, like I try to pay attention to where am I supposed to keep going? And how can this platform be of service to others? That is kind of the key for me. Like, how can this be of service to others? How can this open doors for others?
Yes. Speaking of that notion of human-centered wellness, can you speak a little bit and elaborate on, this fast-paced society that we live in, this capitalistic world that we live in, really produce.
Yeah.
Can you speak on what does human-centered wellness mean to you personally, and how it translates into the TeleWellness Hub platform?
Yes. So part of that pause that I took in relaunching, one of the key things that came out of that is a really clear focus on human-centeredness rather than like fast-paced technology or the latest and greatest features. I think that human-centeredness has a lot of layers. First, there's the layer of there's just a wonderful transaction. I speak as a provider when you're sitting with a client and you're having this human to human interaction. You feel seen, and I speak as a client too, like provider and client, right? Like when there's a dynamic, it's a working relationship, but there's a humanness to it that can't be replaced by AI. And so I think AI is a great supplement in so many ways. I do, but there's something about really highlighting the humanness of the provider and the humanness of the client with their uniqueness that I wanted to really like highlight. Everyone's health and wellness journey is as unique as them. And when you match up with the right provider with the right client, it's that uniqueness, that humanness that is at the core of that really successful working relationship and outcomes. And so that was a big part of it. And a lot of it is also wanting to protect the humans involved. I think that mental health, there's been a shift towards kind of a commodification of it where they're selling data and, there's a lot of numbers. Yes. And, providers become just a number and of profit. And we've seen I personally have seen a lot of questionable things for my own ethics within my own license where I say, I don't agree with my clients' sessions being recorded and sold to Google for ads. I don't like that this big company is buying, I will say it, growth therapies, working with Psychology Today. So I've been there where Psychology Today was great for me when I started, but imagine now like getting drowned out, just oversaturation and algorithms really manipulating or controlling how a provider gets found, or how the inverse of that, how a client finds their ideal provider. And So I really wanted to focus on ethics and the human-centeredness, the human experience of like a successful therapy outcome and protection for clients. So now actually clients can register on TeleWellness Hub, kind of like Pinterest, to have their own account, but they don't share their personal data, just their name, their email, and can save provider profiles, blog posts, podcasts, and have it in one hub, right? Like a toolbox for themselves to refer to share. So I just really sat down and thought about what makes therapy so great so often. It's that intangible humanness, that human to human interaction. And I think I want to do everything in my power to protect our field, protect our providers, protect the people we serve. And that's, I guess, a long-winded way to talk about the human-centeredness of it for me.
Absolutely. Speaking of AI, because as a therapist myself, my hands have been tied when I am forced sometimes to use transcribing sessions, and patients don't feel safe. Right. AI is taking over in so many different industries and agencies, and albeit it's great for some tools, but I just feel, mirroring your sentiments there, we're missing the mark here in terms of using AI in our field, because the patients need to feel safe. They need to feel heard. They need to feel validated. They need to be seen. So I just want to kind of emphasize, I agree with you on your sentiments about that. And I'm very passionate about that, being a provider myself and knowing the silos that come out of that. So thank you for speaking on that part. Could you please enlighten us a little bit about what type of provider would be the best candidate to join TeleWellness Hub, and what they would look like and how it works, and give us a little more clear indication of how the platform is supporting everyone?
Yes, absolutely. So I really made this focusing on predominantly at first mental health providers. And so, but we have various categories. And you can put as many category provider types that you may be. You may be a mental health provider and a yoga provider and a supervising provider, which for example, I'm an LPC supervisor. I am a yoga instructor. I am a mental health provider. So it's, we have dietitians, so nutrition providers, medical providers. Some people do mental health and have that.
Yes, I see sports coaches on there.
Yeah, coaching providers.
Holistic approach.
Yes, because what I found is oftentimes a client may not know, they know like, hey, I want help with this specific area. I want to help with my ADHD. And there are nutritionists that specialize in that. There are coaches, there are mental health providers, and sometimes one person might have all those credentials. So I really wanted to make it available for how we approach getting help in real life and translate that onto a platform. So really, and a health and wellness provider, you will find space here. And it could be for someone who's just starting out, like maybe they're just launching their own work. Because we have plans starting as little as $9 a month, so that you can start building your online presence, to maybe someone who's more established or wants to have a greater reach, because maybe you have handouts or downloadable worksheets or events that people can buy tickets to online through like Eventbrite, or maybe you have books on Amazon. Recently, like I learned about like 80 something providers who have published works on Amazon. And so this is a place where you can link that, directly on your profile, so that if someone can see your profile, already kind of feel connected to you, understand who you are, see your YouTube videos or your content. And if you have that, or schedule an appointment with you, or download your book, or, so this is for any provider who is looking for freedom and works independently. You can have other directory profiles and share them on there as well. I really want this platform, TeleWellness Hub, to be about support and not about like competition or like how to be like stand out against them. Like this is a group of colleagues and we're all have the shared mission of helping, so That's who this is for.
As a provider myself, I can speak volumes to the directory because, I have the autonomy, I have the agency to put, I'm an EMDR certified practitioner. I'm trauma informed. I support BIPOC, LGBTQ communities. I can make as much as I want of it and as little as I want of it.
Right.
I can have that wherewithal to really take the bull by the horn and say, oh, this is the face of my practice. Let's bridge other providers together in unison. And it comes out so beautifully because honestly, I love the platform and I love the directory. It's so easy to maneuver. I welcome and encourage any provider out there to take a look at the TeleWellness Hub platform because the directory itself has given me such audiences that I never knew I could target, and that I never knew I could have this type of visibility. And it's just a humbling experience. And I just want to again emphasize, please, if you're listening, take a look at the provider directory. It's really merging all the worlds and all of the silos together. And I want to thank you for that, Marta.
Oh, thank you. That makes me see those bits, and that feedback, this is what keeps it going, right? This is where I'm like, okay, we're on the right path. And I'm really appreciative. I'm just grateful that it's worked for you because I believe in a butterfly effect, because if this is helpful for you and you're able to help others, I just think that it's a way for us to work together to contribute towards a greater good that we're, right now there's a lot of division. So I just, if we can find unity and we can elevate and amplify voices of people doing good, I just, that's what keeps me going for sure. The TeleWellness Hub podcast is now proudly hosted by Legal Med 180, a platform bringing together people in law, healthcare, policy, and innovation to improve real outcomes for individuals and communities. We believe better mental health and wellness happen when caring professionals collaborate across systems. That shared mission is why this partnership matters. Check out legalmed180.com to learn more.
Sure. And speak a little bit about the Refer and Earn program. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so I was getting a lot of people asking me, is there a way that I can tell my colleagues to join and I can get some kind of credit, like a free month or something? And so building that portion out, we really sat down and intentionally walked through that. And I was very clear that I want my fellow providers that are on TeleWellness Hub to not just earn a free month. I want cash in their bank account because I want them to feel like they're a part of TeleWellness Hub, that almost partnership level. Typically I've talked to people who were interested in owning part of TeleWellness Hub and they wanted, maybe 20% is typical, maybe for a partner.
Sure.
And I thought 20% you are receiving every time that you use your unique code, which is in your dashboard, and share it with a colleague, and they sign up and they pay for whatever membership level, you will automatically receive 20% through PayPal, through there's an external platform called Rewardful that tracks it, that pays it out, and it shows up in your bank account, whatever bank account you link through PayPal, so that it feels like I'm a part of this, not just I'm in the directory and I'm have new visibility and I'm being amplified on podcasts or whatever, but I want people to feel like I'm a part of this and I'm contributing to it and I receive also.
Yes. Supporting other providers that we know and bringing them on board so that they can feel supported in this capacity as well.
Yes, exactly. So I really wanted that, and for them to receive funding in a way that it is reflecting that we're part of this together, we're partners in this, and this is a community. So that's the Refer and Earn that's in the dashboard now for providers.
Thank you for speaking on that. And just an out of the box question, if you don't mind, what keeps you going? What makes you tick? what keeps you going? Because, we have this beta launch, we have the relaunch.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah.
It's taking off, and I'm just a humbled patron and supporter of this big mission and platform that we are really all working in unison together. Every member that joins TeleWellness Hub is in unison and in unity. I really feel that because I've talked to the other providers that I know on the TeleWellness Hub directory, and we support each other in such a great capacity. And I thank you again for that, for giving us that opportunity, Marta. So what's the next steps for you? What do you envision this to be, say, in 5 years?
Okay, that's a big question because I dream big. I can dream really big. In 5 years, I would love for providers to feel empowered to run their practice the way that they would like, to feel like they have the freedom to do their work the way they'd like. I'd like for TeleWellness Hub to be the go-to platform where people can find their ideal provider for whatever they're looking for, whether it's instant access to some podcast episodes that have educational content, YouTube videos. I would love for them to be able to purchase our items. I would love to, my dreams are like really out there. I have a whole actual list, actually, like a Google sheet on the things, but I really want this to be the go-to platform where people feel I am protected on this platform. I'm not exploited. Like my data won't be sold. I am not going to be asked to do anything I don't want to do as a provider. I have the control. Yes. And I'm able to share my resources, share my expertise, and similarly that clients can find it. Like I want this platform to be where, my daughters, if they want help to learn more about their dyslexia or about stress management, that they can go to this website and find something. Like that's what I'm trying to create, for my best friend to be able, I can tell her, yeah, go on TeleWellness Hub. You'll find the perfect provider for this, for my loved ones. I want it to be the go-to because I know there are just so many amazing providers who have dedicated and are so invested in their work and their area of specialty. And I want them to be found, and I want the person who needs their support to be able to easily access them.
Absolutely. And speaking on that piece, you're absolutely right. Other providers that are supporting each other and bringing other providers on board, it only cycles and cycles and cycles. Who knows where it can snowball and take off.
Yes.
I'm a visionary too, Marta. You know this by me very well. I'm a visionary, and I'm so passionate about the TeleWellness Hub and everything it's brought to my life that, speaking from a humbling experience, I can't thank you enough for having the vision, the idea, the foresight to create such a huge movement. It's really a movement there, Marta, that I want to make sure that
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So, well, I want to thank you so much for being our guest speaker.
Yes. And thank you for having me. It feels good.
So I know you have a lot of ventures and a lot of things going on as we all are busy, but I want to thank you so much for being our guest speaker on today's podcast. And thank you. I will talk to you real soon, Marta.
Yes, thank you. Talk soon.
Thanks. Bye now.
If this conversation resonated with you, help us grow our TeleWellness Hub community. Like, subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode so more people can find the voices and ideas that make mental health and wellness more accessible for everyone. You can also visit our website, TeleWellnessHub.com, to check out our providers and their resources. Some have access to free resources, and others, if you're not ready to make an appointment with them and maybe aren't ready to start therapy sessions, you can check out their books, their workshops, their YouTube videos, and their other educational content. You can also create your own user login like Pinterest. We don't ask for any sensitive information. You can register and start saving your favorite profiles, your favorite resources, blog posts, podcast episodes, and more.